Hi there Sagittarius, thank you for joining me. This is your April 2017 astrology forecast for those of you that are Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun sign and Sagittarius moon sign. This month I'm going to be giving you a bit of an overview as we have 4 planets retrograde, and then I'll be going into dates. So if we start off with Venus, so Venus has been in your 5th house, and it's in your 5th house only until the 3rd of this month. So you've been looking at creativity and love and things to do with your children if you have children, you know, how you have fun, and you've been reviewing these things, you know, what matters to you, what do you enjoy doing, what do you enjoy doing with your children even, have you been doing enough of those things? And maybe even looking at taking your creativity seriously, you know, like I said last month, turning something, a hobby, into something that makes money, you know. So this has been under review for you, and then as it goes into the 4th house, into Pisces, it's travelling with Chiron, so there's healing energy to be had here as Venus is going retrograde. And so you might find that there's some healing to do with family, and there might be a coming together of family, and maybe old grudges or old problems will be resolved, and that would be quite nice. Neptune is also in your 4th house, which can bring a feeling of oneness and a lot of compassion. So with Venus and Neptune and Chiron there, this is kind of quite a nice healing time, and if there's anything to let go of, if there's anything to iron out in terms of family dynamics or home, or even to do with your past, then this could be really good for that. We also have Mercury going retrograde this month, and Mercury is going to be going from your 6th house of Taurus, where you've been thinking a lot about your health habits and your routines and how you're of service to the world as well, you know. If you're in service industry, like if you're in hospitality, or if you work in a hospital, something like that, the mind could have been very much on the job. You could be very busy with that, but you're rethinking your daily schedule, and you're going to be finding that this is going to become an area of focus. It's already kind of, you've already been feeling it. Mars has been here, or Mars is here as well. So I'm hoping that some of you have been realising that maybe something needs to be shaken up in terms of your health and your day-to-day, and how it supports you, being active and being out there in the world. So there might be some things to rethink, there might be some new health regimes you need to implement, there might be diet you want to look at, there might be some new classes you want to take up. This also has to do with pets as well. Anything to do with pets can come up during this time. So that's Mercury retrograde. Obviously, it's the usual thing, you know, give yourself more time for travel, try not to buy any big electronic equipment, you know, try not to make any big purchases during Mercury retrograde, especially with Venus retrograde as well. There's a good chance we could end up regretting it if we do that. And try not to sign anything if you can for the meantime until Mercury goes direct, which will be May the 3rd. So we've got a little while yet. And then we've got Saturn. Saturn's been in your sign for a while now, and you're probably getting quite used to the energy. Saturn's been causing you to take yourself more seriously. And, you know, for those of you who've had your, who are having, or have had your Saturn return, you'll know how much of a shake-up it can be. So Saturn's asking you to take yourself more seriously, and to drop any kind of youthful and idealistic ways of looking at the world, and to try and you're going to be feeling the need. This is if you're in your Saturn, you're experiencing your Saturn return. You'll be feeling the need to become a part of the world of you know, adults, to start adulting in a sense. And Saturn's been causing you to take yourself more seriously in some ways. You might have been feeling a bit more serious, but it's giving you drive, and it's showing you where maybe you've lacked the necessary understanding or focus in life. And so, you know, I think it's great energy, because the gifts and the rewards from Saturn, you know, when we work with the energy, are immense, and they last for a really long time. So it's asking you to restructure things, and it's getting real about who you are and what you present to the world. How authentic is it? You know, so we're getting real about that. Pluto is also going retrograde in Capricorn on April the 20th, and this is in your second house of resources. So Pluto lasts, takes ages to go through a house. It's been there since 2008, it'll be there till 2024. But with this retrograde motion, there's a chance for transformation here. And in order to have this transformation in your finances, in your resources, something needs to be looked at. It's asking you to be very honest with yourself. And if you want career success, if you want to be taken more seriously, if you want to really build something of lasting value, Saturn in your sign, in the first house, then you need to be honest about where maybe you've been self-defeating in terms of your resources, maybe where you haven't invested wisely. But there's very powerful energy here for change and real transformation. And I mean, this could be something that really takes you up a level on a financial, in a financial sense. This could really, you could come through after this period. You could find yourself knowing how to handle money better, how to invest it better, and really kind of up a pay grade, essentially. So it's really good energy. Okay, so let's go into the dates. Actually, before I do, I just wanted to say, same thing I'm saying to everybody this month, this is a spring cleaning month. I feel, you know, there are loose ends to tie up, there are things that we need to be honest about with ourselves, and but there's a lot of power in it as well. And so, you know, there is action going on, there's action going on the inside, you know, a lot. There's action going on the outside too. I mean, obviously with Mercury retrograde, there are going to be delays and things like that. But I feel like everyone is going to be feeling driven to get to the heart of things, to get to the core of things, so that they can really get on with life without bumping into the same obstacles time and time again, you know. And this is where Pluto in that second house is great. If you feel like your finances have never been what they should be, this is where Pluto can help transform that so that you're not bumping into that same issue time and time again. So now on to the dates, the 3rd, April the 3rd. So Venus is retrograde and it goes into Pisces. So this is into your 4th house, like I mentioned. There could be some healing to be done there, to do with the past, to do with family. Also, you might decide to beautify your home. You might fancy a bit of interior decorating, and just to make it somewhere that feels a bit more homely, a bit more welcoming. You might kind of start really giving some love to the home, if it doesn't pan out in a kind of family sense. And then on the 5th, that's when Saturn goes retrograde in your sign. So this is saying to you, okay, do you have the necessary knowledge to do what you want? Do you know well enough who you are? Are you being clear? Are you being real about who you are? And you're going to be reviewing things about yourself for the next 4.5 months. So you're going to be, I feel like you're going to be really looking at what it is you want for yourself. Also perhaps how you present yourself to the world. I mean, if you work in something like marketing or PR or anything where you're dealing with the public, you might be thinking about how you present yourself to the world, but you're looking at you and how you can better, how can I put it, how you can better remodel aspects of your character in order to make sure that, you know, you get what you want out of life. You know, what behaviours, how do you present yourself to the world? How does that affect what opportunities come to you? That kind of thing. You're thinking about long-term goals and what you want out of life. And it's quite a long retrograde period. As I said, it's 4.5 months. So you've got time, you know, time is on your side, and this is really good energy to work with. This is the kind of energy that will last years and years and years, you know, with the changes that are made now. On the 6th, we've got Mars in your 6th house. Mars in your 6th house, in Taurus, and that's trining Pluto in your 2nd house. So I feel like you're going to be feeling driven to transform your finances. You'll probably be wanting to look at, how can I restructure things? You might be wanting to get to the details, and like you might come up with a powerful financial plan on this day, or something of some sort of financial matter could happen. Or the other way around, you know, it could be that if you've been struggling with health, you might suddenly get a powerful insight as to what's been going wrong. But I imagine you'll be feeling quite energized and quite powerful on this day, and it's going to be to do with money and resources, or to do with your health and day-to-day habits. And this will be quite a powerful day. You'll have a lot of focus and energy and determination, and this will be good because this determination, this focus will help to drive you through this month. On the 8th, where are we? Yes, on the 8th, we have Mercury going retrograde, and that's in your 6th house. So rethinking things to do with health habits, rethinking things to do with the day-to-day. How does that support, you know, your overall your overall effectiveness in life, you know? So as I mentioned at the beginning, you know, reviewing things to do with that. Also on the 8th, we've got Venus in Pisces, which is squaring Saturn in your sign. So Venus is there in that house of home, and Saturn's there in your sign. Now, I feel like this could be a day where you feel maybe, for whatever reason, a little bit emotionally blocked or withdrawn. You may not be feeling too sociable. It might be a time when really you're feeling like you want to stay at home, but maybe something demands that you be out there and you present yourself to somebody or to the world. So just be aware of that. This happens again, I'm sure, on the 21st. We have the same aspect. So, I mean, it could be that there's some sort of healing to be done, you know, because Venus is close to Chiron. It could be that there's some sort of healing to be done, maybe to do with your past, maybe your self-image and how you see yourself, and your kind of, your feelings of self-worth have been affected by matters in your past, and maybe there's some healing to be done there. I certainly wouldn't say that this is a day to be kind of presenting yourself to the world too much if you can help it, because I feel like there might be a bit of tenderness. On the 11th, we have a full moon in Libra in your 11th house, and this full moon is conjunct your ruling planet Jupiter. So this is a really nice full moon. It's a big, expansive, generous full moon with visionary powers, and you should be feeling very much in your element with this full moon. This is about friendship groups you belong to, people you associate with. It might be that something comes to an end, or there could be just some really lovely, nice peak experience where you're feeling very generous and you're feeling as though you and the group are one, in a sense, as if, you know, you're in tune with the group's needs and feelings, and you could be feeling very nurtured by that. On the other side of things, it's to do with your hopes and your dreams and your wishes. So, you know, dream big. What is it that you want for your future? And Jupiter is all about being magnanimous, and it's about caring about humanity as a whole and high ideals. So is there a cause that is close to your heart, or that you've wanted to get involved with for a long time? You know, this could be a time when you kind of get moved to do something about it. So there's a really big and humane and generous and expansive feeling around this moon. And it's a really nice full moon for you. And yeah, I think you're going to enjoy that. On the 14th, Sun is conjunct Uranus in your 5th house of Aries. And I feel like this could be a day when you might be feeling you might come up with some genius ideas this day, especially if you're self-employed or you're creative. You might come up with some really genius ideas as to how to make money through your hobbies, through the things you love doing. You might just be feeling very eccentric. You could be feeling eccentric, to be honest, it's Uranus. You might be feeling extremely expressive and like you want to try a new hobby. Yeah, so it could be. I think it'll be a really fun and kind of quite an exuberant kind of day. You know, I get the kind of nutty professor kind of feeling with this energy. On the 15th, we've got Venus turning direct. Yay! So Venus is finally going direct. It's going direct in Pisces. So now we're starting to move forward. Hopefully there's been some healing done, some compassion has been found, we're feeling like we understand what we need, what we want, our desires, our values a little bit better. And it's moving forward in that 4th house. Any plans to redecorate are good to go ahead now. And it will be moving into Aries later on in the month. On the 17th, we've got the Sun in Aries in your 5th house. And this is trining Saturn in that 1st house of yours. So maybe whatever it was that came up, you know, because I said about the Venus square Saturn, whatever it was that came up, if you were feeling a little bit like wounded by something to do with the past, and maybe your self-worth was feeling a bit low, and there was something to look at there, now you might get an insight into this, and you might realise that you're bigger than this, and that that's the past, and you're not that person anymore, you're not that child anymore, and you're an adult now, and you have the ability to kind of, you have every right to shine, and you have every right to believe in yourself, and you know, to express who you are. It could be that your self-expression, you're starting to take it quite seriously, and really wanting others to take that seriously too. It could be that how you express yourself has got something to do with what you want to do in the world, or what you are doing in the world. Then on the 19th, we've got the Sun entering Taurus, your 6th house. So this talks about health, you know, your health habits, getting healthy, really kind of putting energy into looking after yourself and your diet and all of that kind of stuff, all of that good stuff. I think it'd be really good for you to make sure that you're exercising and doing exercise that really, how can I put it? Exercise that really makes you sweat, because especially with Mars here, Mars is here up until the 21st, so especially with Mars here and the Sun here, if you want to like do something that maybe you've never done before, like trying kickboxing, something like that, it might be a really good outlet, you know, for your energy. But it brings a lot of energy to health, fitness, your health habits, daily routine, and also service. You know, if there's anything that you do, if you do work in hospitality or in a hospital or anything like that, you're going to be really focused on your job and giving a lot to it. At the same time, even if you don't work in something like that, anything you do where you kind of, you're giving of yourself to the world, I think you're going to be, it's going to be really in focus. You're going to be putting a lot of energy into it. On the 21st, we have Mars entering Gemini. So now Mars goes into your relationship house, and you're starting to put more energy into your relationships, your one-on-one relationships, if you are in a relationship. If you're not, you might be wanting to put more energy into finding that somebody new. And with Venus now going direct, it's a safe time to do this. So this is going to take bring the focus to the other in your life. And so that's good energy there. Be careful of communication, because Mercury is retrograde, and with Mars in the 7th house and Mercury retrograde, there could be a chance for just maybe saying things without thinking, so just be aware of that. Right. Then on the 26th, we've got a new moon in Taurus, in that house of health, so you can see where the focus is really. You know, it's been on the 5th house, and it still is a little bit, but now it's moving on to the 6th, where you're really looking at fresh starts in health, fresh starts in how you feel. I feel like those of you who maybe have been wanting to change certain things about yourself, maybe you've thought for ages, oh, I really want to go vegan, but I haven't got the time to look into it and all that. This Mercury retrograde period might be a really good time to research anything to do with diet, health and fitness. And then with that new moon in that 6th house, you know, then it's kind of saying, right, okay, this is a fresh start, and maybe it's time to start implementing those changes, because the planets are supporting you making changes, and in terms of your health and your fitness, and like I said, service, anything you do and give to the world, that will come very much into focus. That will become very highlighted now over the remainder of this month. And then on the 28th, we have Venus re-entering Aries, re-entering that 5th house, and you should be feeling quite playful and quite joyful. And very creative, I imagine. There might be some, you might be attracting, you could attract money through, I don't know, I don't advocate gambling, but there's nothing wrong with buying the odd lottery ticket here and every now and then. But I mean, this could be a time when you decide to when you might kind of receive or attract some money from like a little bet or something like that. And saying that, actually, when we had the Sun conjunct Uranus, which I think was on the 14th, that might be another day where you're thinking of maybe taking a wild gamble at something on some level, taking a gamble with your creativity. But going back to Venus going direct and entering Aries, you're going to be feeling the love. You're going to be feeling like a big kid. You're going to be enjoying your children a lot and giving them a lot of time if you have children, enjoying your creativity, your hobbies, and love is going to feel really good too. So it's a really nice end to the month there. So I hope you enjoyed that, Sagittarius. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a continuation of your reading, I am doing tarot readings now, and they are on Vimeo videos. They're £2 per video, and yeah, you're welcome to go along and purchase one and watch if you fancy, and if not, no biggie. Enjoy this month, and really time to empower yourself in terms of your finances. Great transformational energy there. You're being asked to take certain things seriously. Take what you love and value seriously, and value yourself and what you have to give to the world. And obviously, make sure you're looking after yourself and get that energy and that health and well-being up there. Okay, thank you, Sagittarius. Bye-bye.